Consensus Part 2. Throughout the ages, across almost every culture, mystical creatures have been discussed and depicted in various forms. So much so that many tribes, cultures, and societies say that these supernatural beings are more than myth, but swear and attest to the fact that they are real. It is highly unlikely that tribes thousands of years ago that never interacted would have seen or described similar beings. Additionally, countless civilizations and cultures make reverence and reference to not only supernatural beings, but the fact that they lived in other worlds, under our world, or within nature. Just as in our consensus video, we have discussed when viewing historical megalithic sites, ancient cultures, or the beliefs some of these cultures had, information is blatantly rejected, avoided, and almost always chalked up to ritual purposes by the archaeological mainstream. We also find mainstream scientists and historians attempting to discredit and attribute historical and cultural sightings of non-human sentient entities as folklore or mythological storytelling. Scientists and governments have no problem pushing countless propaganda of aliens and UFOs because there is a huge incentive to justify a large budget grab to develop advanced technologies. It's not to say at all, by any means, that extraterrestrials, UFOs, or beings from other planets do not exist, but why accept one unobserved or unobservable as opposed to another? There seems to be a large emphasis on acknowledging UFOs and advanced systems of UFO-level aircraft designed by governments, yet a large degree of reluctance and hesitance to even acknowledge or attribute ancient sites or what ancient cultures had to say about their interactions with sentient non-human beings. I mean, why take the primary source or culture at the time's word for it, when we can take a modern, profit-centric, agenda-driven government's word for it? Why investigate something on Earth when we can spend trillions colonizing a floating rock 30+ million miles away? Or spending hundreds of millions sending satellites to send back grainy photos that are replaced with composite and 3D interpretations done in studios? Why not just release the original photos and allow for people to interpret it themselves? Why not send out high-def color cameras? Why not live stream satellites from takeoff through their entire journey? UFO-level technology is something that is feasibly explained by human advancement, or previously advanced cultures wiped out due to natural phenomenon, such as climate change, yet attributed endemically to sci-fi and foreign interplanetary powers because governments can shill out massive investments into rocket and space agencies, such as NASA, when in reality they are exploiting human curiosity to test missile and satellite technology through proxy companies elected by a military-industrial complex. Logically speaking, if beings can travel thousands of light years, how could we down or destroy their craft with our primitive technology? It would be akin to a cave person destroying an F-35 at high altitudes by throwing rocks from the ground. Societies can barely feed our own people, with grafting and bribery problems, and cannot even get along with their national counterparts. Yet we are expected to believe we can combat a foreign adversarial system that is exponentially beyond accepted scientific understanding. Moreover, a pantheon of gods or a race of non-human beings located in a realm outside of normative sensory experience, or in uncharted or hidden lands that nurture, teach, and guide humanity is much harder to explain, and doesn't suit a neo-colonialist agenda. So instead of admitting they can't explain massive megalithic sites or they are suppressing information, such as the Hall of Records under the Sphinx, and denying the fact that there are several entrances on and underneath the Sphinx, governments would have you believe that it is just myth and folklore. Moreover, when there is a historical and cross-cultural precedent of hundreds and thousands of cultures over the span of millennia, referencing their interactions with non-human beings, it is put in the pseudo-scientific and pseudo-archaeological categories. Various cultures such as the Babylonians, Egyptians, Mayans, had accomplished archaeological feats and astronomical alignments that we are only discovering today with our, quote, advanced technologies, unquote. These societies did everything with respect and reverence for their surroundings, such as the stars, rivers, and bodies of water, mountains, and more. Additionally, every one of these cultures attribute these advancements, accomplishments, and knowledge to interactions with non-human beings who were highly revered and respected by these societies. For example, in ancient Egypt, they had 3 forms of writing: demotic, hieratic, and hieroglyphic. Hieratic was a simplified form of hieroglyphics, used for administrative and business purposes. as well as for literary, scientific, and religious texts. Demotic, a Greek word meaning popular script, was in general used for the daily requirements of the society. The word hieroglyph literally means sacred carvings. The Egyptians first used hieroglyphs exclusively for inscriptions carved or painted on temple walls. However, it was also used sometimes on papyrus, tombs, and more. Now one might ask, if a society like ancient Egypt was using such scripts that are as complex and unforgiving as hieroglyphic, that demands a great attention to symmetry and detail, why wouldn't they put their information on simple and more efficient hieratic or demotic script? After all, they're just made up stories, right? Only the most important, culturally and historically significant works went into hieroglyphs. The construction and beautification of temples with hieroglyphic script was a massive undertaking and was for the express purpose of codifying something the society believed was so important that they preserved it into stone to pass down for millennia. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.